Hello, I will be overviewing the behavior of the zebra finch. Zebra finch are native to Australia, but some have relocated to Indonesia and East Timor, which is in Asia. Some have also recently been introduced to parts of Puerto Rico, Portugal, Brazil, and even the United States. They tend to like the warmer climate. They can be found in the grasslands and forest areas in the wild that aren't too cold, yet not too tropical and humid. They typically live up to 5 years old in the wild, but some have been known to be able to live up to 10 years old when they grow in captivity, depending on their diet and conditions. They are very small birds. They only grow to be about 10 centimeters long. As you can see in the picture, they are about the size of the man's pointer finger. They are also very social birds and always stay in groups or pairs. The male and female finch only separate when they have eggs in their nest, as they take turns retrieving food for their young. They have small, pointing, strong beaks, perfect for eating seeds, which makes up most of their diet. They are one of the rare birds that have benefited from human interaction in Australia. They tend to use man-made dams as watering holes and land that has been cleared for farming as feeding areas. They are the fastest maturing bird ever recorded in the world. They are able to breed at the age of 70 to 80 days old, so just before 3 months old. They tend to breed after big rainstorms as they know that there will be plenty of food available after the storm to feed the young. Zebra finch are known to be monogamous. This means that they have one mate for life, so they truly are lovebirds. Since they are monogamous, the females tend to be very picky when finding a male to mate with, since they've only got one shot. The male zebra finch tend to have dark red beaks, patches of orange on their cheeks, stripes on their throats, and spots on their wings, as the females are usually just gray with a thick stripe on each eye, light orange beaks, and maybe a few spots here and there. When females are looking for a male, they tend to look for all those physical traits, including the patches of orange on their cheeks, nicely striped throats, and the more spots that they have on their bodies makes them more desirable to the female. The female finch doesn't only choose her mate depending on their physical look, but she also looks for a male with the right pitch. Zebra finch males learn various songs while they are young, which are usually taught to them by their fathers. They learn the songs within the first 4 months of life. When the male birds are just born, their fathers start to sing to them. For about the first month, the baby males just listen to the different pitches and rhythms. After the first month of listening to their fathers, the babies begin to try and sing themselves. Their songs at this point are basically just noises with no pattern or pitches to it. After a couple months of practicing, the small male birds learn their vocal cords and can control their own pitches. Their fathers teach them the basic tones of the songs, but eventually each male bird adds their own twist to the songs by adding their own notes into it. So each song has the same bass, but is unique to each male zebra finch depending on the different notes. They use these tunes in their courtship rituals. Birds with the heritable tendency to learn a song will obtain a mate more often than those that don't. Female zebra finches, on the other hand, are not very good singers and tend to not learn the different pitches or songs, but they are able to recognize them when they hear it. When looking for a mate, the male finch practices their courtship rituals. They usually fly up to a female and start to sing and dance around her. If the female does not approve, she tends to fly away. If the male is confident enough, he will follow the female around and repeat the process over and over. If the female approves, they proceed to mate. If the female still isn't interested in the mate after countless tries, the males generally become frustrated and angry with the female and can show an aggressive behavior. The male tends to chase or hiss at the female. In extreme conditions, some males are known to attack the females and can result in injury or even death of the female bird. Here's a quick video of the courtship ritual with the songs being used. In the perfect world, all the males with the desirable traits would have all the offspring, but we all know that that is never the case in any species. So, what happens when a not so desirable male mates with a female? How does the female compensate for their offspring? How can she improve the offspring's chances for survival and reproduction? According to Elizabeth Boland, when paired with a low quality male, the female tends to lay larger eggs. The female contributes more nutrients into the egg, which in turn increases the yolk volume and yolk carotenoid content. In addition to extra nutrients, the female also deposits a slightly larger amount of testosterone into the egg when they are paired with low quality males. This gives the offspring a better chance for survival and reproduction in the future. Females paired with high quality male do not have to make up for it. Thus, they do not need to give the extra nutrients or extra testosterone to their eggs. In turn, the eggs tend to be a bit smaller than the low quality male's eggs. I found an article based on the effects of the sex-based audience in the context of mate choice in zebra finches. Nina Keneal is a head scientist of this experiment. She states that, and I quote, animals observing co-specific stirring mate choice can gain additional information about potential mates. However, the presence of an observer, if detected by the observed individuals, can influence the nature of the behavior of the observed individuals. This is called an audience effect. End quote. Audience effect applies to domesticated male finches during mating selection, but is unknown for wild female and male finches. They conducted this experiment to determine just that. They conducted the experiment by using fake male and female stimulus birds with different features. This gave the birds a choice as to which mate they would prefer. They conducted the experiment both with and without an audience of the same-sex bird that they were testing. So, if they were testing a female bird, they would have two fake stimulus male birds, one being very desirable and the other not so desirable. They conducted the experiments with no audience as well as with a female audience. If they were testing a male, it would be the same process, just vice versa. They found that females had no change in mate choices with or without the presence of an audience. Males, on the other hand, showed an audience effect. They tended to spend more time with a more desirable female in the presence of another male, as to when they had no audience at all. This shows that males are more competitive with each other than the females are. Overall, according to the findings from the experiment, we can conclude that there is little to no difference in domesticated or wild mate choices in the presence of an audience. Females have no effect in both domesticated and wild, and males have audience effect in both domesticated and wild zebra finches.